Yo, how's it going, peeps? This is Brent here from Epik.Works. I'm just going to give you a bit of a brief tutorial here on how to create a simple roof in SketchUp. You may be needing to put this roof into whatever visualization software that you guys are using. In our case, we're putting it into the Unreal Engine. As you can see, the roof's got a basic pitch of 30 degrees. It's got a cap on it, which I haven't grouped. Sorry, that's a group. It's got gutters. It's also got a ceiling as well. And yeah, it's got thickness, so we don't have any faces that are facing the wrong side, which most 3D programs don't enjoy, as you will see through them. But yeah, I'll just show you guys how I created this. It's rather simple. It's a lot easier than what it looks. So yeah, let's start by deleting this. I'm just going to import a profile. It's a DXF file. There's a number of extensions you can use to bring in DXF files. Somewhere, there it is. Just bring it a bit closer. Cool. This DXF file that's been brought in on this profile is in a group, so we'll just explode it. So we have the separate elements. You guys can hear a bit of noise in the background. It's because it's raining. I hope you guys can still hear the audio. Cool, so I just exploded it. Make sure it's exploded. All the lines, etc. are separate. What we're going to do is just make sure this is a surface. I usually do that by just closing up some of these edges. Another good habit is reversing the faces. Bottom face is there, top face is there. Cool, obviously you want to add a pitch to this roof, make it 3D. I don't know how a lot of you guys do it, but this is the simplest way that I've found. You draw a line straight up, no length in particular. On this right edge, I'm just going to draw a line on the red axis, no length in particular. Grab that, we're going to rotate it on the green axis. And for it to be 30 degrees, I could have done it the other way, obviously. We'll just type in 150. And there you have it. We now have the pitch correct. The height of that now will ensure that this roof, when it's pulled up, is 30 degrees. Now all I'm going to do is I'm going to grab these 2 points. Hold on, before I do that, I'm going to make this a group. Because as I pull, I don't want to bring in this little vertical line. So let's open this up. Select the ridge. If you don't know roof terminology, the top edge, if you want to call it that, is called the ridge. Grab the ridge, pull it up like that to the end point of that, and bang, there we go. That roof is now at 30 degrees. Cool. Looks pretty rad. Delete this. This line here. Go away. Let's leave it for my mouse. Or I can go to Control A. Just leave that. Delete. Oh, that's why. Cool, so there's the roof. Looks pretty cool. At the moment, it doesn't have any thickness. Thickness is going to be important in a 3D modeling environment if you're doing 3D visualization or architectural visualization. Reason being, as your program looks at the bottom of this roof, it's going to see right through it. Now, there's two ways to do this. We could extrude it on the inside, or we could extrude it on the outside. I'm going to extrude it on the outside. I'll show you why. Let's perhaps start with the ceiling first. I'll show you what that's all about. To create the ceiling, we're going to grab box this in on the actual edges. There we go. Not the best looking ceiling just yet. If you guys know what a roof looks like, the ceiling doesn't butt against the actual edges of the roof. The roof usually has an overhang. In most cases it's about 600 millimeters. So what we're going to do, we'll go to our offset tool, click. Now what I'm going to do first, because at your gable ends on either side here, you won't have a 600 overhang. It's usually about 200 or 300 millimeters. So what I'll do first, let's do the first one at 300. We'll do the next one at 600. I'll show you why I did that now. Okay, look, we have two offsets now. The one on the left or the one on the outside is going to be 600. So I'm just going to join these up. Join that up. Join that up there. And join that up there. Cool. Delete this for now. That'll be the overhang on our gable ends. Next we'll do the overhang on the other ends. Cool. Get rid of these just for neatness. Cool. Now instead of going and deleting all these three little lines, just double click this, make it a group, select or deselect that, so just delete the rest. Cool, now we have a ceiling. The ceiling's not exactly in the right place right now. The ceiling will never sit flush with the edge of the roof or overhang the roof. It'll sit within the roof. So let's give this a little bit of thickness, get into the group, open it up. I'll just choose 6 millimeters, just because. What I'm going to do now, with the blue axis selected, just push it up to clip to the blue axis. Just move it up until it touches that face. Your ceiling is now in place. Now if you have a look, I've left a little bit of a nasty line here as these faces touch each other. And that's because this face, or the roof face, or the roof covering is, yeah, it's just a face. It doesn't have any thickness. So what I'll do, and the thickness of whatever you want to make these, or your roof covering, it's really up to you what you really want to do. I usually use about 40 millimeters. If you really want to match it to the thickness of your actual roof covering, that's up to you. 40 is usually okay. Something went wrong there, sorry. Go, and another 40. We'll go around here, 40. Go around here, 40. Cool, now the roof has a bit of thickness. Just double check it. Sometimes SketchUp does some interesting things. Sorry about my phone going off, I'm a busy person. Great, it's got thickness. What you might find sometimes is that SketchUp doesn't add another face. I haven't quite worked out why SketchUp does this sometimes, but this time it seems to have worked fine. So we'll leave it at that. Great, well that's the basics. We have a roof now. Pretty awesome. It's lacking a few details, like gutters, which I often find people who do 3D visualization and 3D modeling for architecture tend to leave out. I don't think that's right. I think you need to put in all the details. The more details you create, yeah, the more rewarding it is. Great, so how do we create a gutter? Pretty simple. Nothing really major. We're not going to put any fancy profiles for a gutter, we're just going to do a box. So on this edge here, excuse me, this edge here, as the gutter will usually hang from the bottom of the roof covering. We're going to go down, let's call it 120 millimeters. We're going to go across 150, up again, and back. Cool, that should be a box. Just going to change to parallel so we know what we're dealing with here. Yeah, looks pretty good to me. Great stuff. Now we're going to draw the path we want this gutter to follow. So I'm going to follow along here to there, and obviously then to this corner as well. That'll be the path. We're going to use the follow me tool. So follow me tool up here, click the square, get it to follow this path, all the way around. Come on. There we are. Great. The outside is do the same thing. Nothing fancy. Down 120, across 150, and up again. Yeah, cool. Let's quickly just draw the path for it to follow to there, to there. Cool. Oopsie, wrong tool. Follow me tool. Here we go. Here we go. You'll notice the color of this. The faces are facing the wrong way. Just double click. Reverse faces. Make it a group. Same on this one. Double click. And make it a group. Cool, so we've got some gutters now. They obviously don't have any depth. Obviously if you want to create a more complex profile, that's fine, but just for time constraints of this video, we're just going to leave it at that. I'm going to go back to my, my perspective view. Cool, looking pretty sweet actually. Cool. So the roof looks good. We're just dealing with these unsightly sort of joints at the top here. So what I usually do is I'll create what we call a ridge cap. It's a cap that will go over the ridge. The profile you'll use for the ridge cap is really up to you. So I'm going to draw something really simple, really quickly. Something that's just going to cap it off and make it look good. Right, so let's just go back into parallel. The reason I use parallel is because it's nice to see that your lines are equal in length. Perspective just makes it look better for presentation. So what I'll do is I'm going to select at this end here on the pink axis, which means it's using the axis that I'm hovering over, so it's going to carry on like that. Up we go. And we'll do the same here. Up we go. I now have a good midpoint there, which is useful for what I'm about to do as well. I'm going to give it profile's probably going to be, let's use 200 millimeters. Again, I'm going to use pink axis. I'm just going to draw that there for now. Pink. Let's make it 60 millimeters. Oh, too much, I would say. Let's make it 40. Let's use this axis again. Up we go. Cool. Again, 200 on the pink axis. Line with that one. 20. Sorry. 40. Pink axis. And go. Let's try this up. Cool. As I said before, make that a group. Let's select all. Maybe it doesn't work so well when you get a lot of groups, but for now it's going to work. Let's get rid of all that crap. Delete, delete, delete. Cool, now we've got our profile. The profile's pretty simple. Maybe let's be a little bit more creative. Use a center line arc. Yeah, cool guys, that's pretty sweet. Last thing I want to do is, this thing would never sit on the edge of the roof. It might just go over a little bit. So we're just going to move it just across to there, just as a bit of an overlap. Great. From here, we're going to draw the profile it's going to follow. So on the green axis, push left, obviously depending on what your axes are for this project. Look from the top, try and find this midpoint, which is there. Yeah, stay on the red axis, there. And a little bit of overlap, just to show you what we've done. Path is, yeah, kept a consistent height, which is what we wanted to do. Great. That's the group. Now, simply follow me. And off we go. So make sure it's all the way at the end. Hooray! Nice ridge cap for your roof. Cool. Reverse the faces. And out we go. Cool, here we go guys. Simple roof like I showed you earlier. Let's take a look at the perspective. Ready to go into the 3D visualization program of your choice. And there we go. Thanks for watching guys.